Welcome back. Scammers often take advantage of vulnerable people during times of crises and distress. In fact, as of January 3rd, the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, had logged more than 298,000 consumer complaints related to COVID 19 and stimulus payments, 68% of them involving fraud or identity theft. Joining us now to share some common COVID 19 related scams and tips to stay safe is Kathy Kraninger, Director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Welcome, Kathy, Director Kraninger. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Sanjay. It's an honor to be here.
Of course. So first to start off, can you just tell us a little bit about the CFPB and the Bureau's goal?
Absolutely. The CFPB is about 10 years old. It was created in the response to the financial crisis, specifically to look out for consumers of consumer financial products. So mortgages, student loans, auto loans. We work with the Federal Trade Commission, certainly very closely. We have some overlaps in authority with them, but we also have our own unique authorities to bring to bear. So our job is to prevent consumer harm in this space. So we do that through educating, like we're going to do today, making sure that there are resources available to consumers, issuing regulations so industry knows what the rules are and what they're required to do. We supervise, so we send some of our staff in to go look at what financial institutions are doing and make sure they're doing the right thing. And enforcement. We absolutely sue companies who are bad actors, and we get redress and restitution, money back to consumers who have been harmed, or we penalize those companies. So that's what the CFPB does.
Thank you so much, Director, for the background. Now, as we know, throughout the pandemic, a lot of folks have been home more often. So scammers know exactly how to contact and prey on the vulnerable through phone, whether that be through text or email. Can you please share the rise in scams and why this is happening during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Scammers are always going to be opportunists, taking advantage of whatever is available to them to try to trick people, get access to their money. And certainly the pandemic is no different. People are scared. They might not have right access to information. They feel a little isolated, certainly because of the stay-at-home orders and otherwise to keep people safe. So scammers take advantage of that. They'll suggest they have a vaccine for you, or if you just sign up and send this amount of money, they'll get you a vaccine or a treatment. So it's really a fraudulent activity that they're just taking advantage of that. So some of the scams that we see are, saying that they're the government, and if you just give them something, they'll help you get your stimulus check, for example. Or saying that they're a medical provider and they can get you easier access to the vaccine. Really, the best way to know that this is what's going on is the information they ask you for. They start asking you for a Medicare number, a Social Security number, a bank account number. Never give that to anyone. There's no government entity that's going to call you out of the blue and ask you for that information. So those are some of the key indicators about, how to know this is what's going on. And as you pointed out, Sanjay, they're using every means. So they'll be at your door, they'll call, they'll email, they'll text. And it's really critically important to make sure that you stop and think in the middle of those kinds of discussions.
Got it. Thank you, Director Kraninger. Also, according to the U.S. government officials, COVID-19 vaccine scams, as you said, are recently on the rise during the pandemic. Can you tell us what consumers exactly should be watching out for regarding this particular scam?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much the same thing. Again, trying to offer you something by frankly getting you to pay them. A lot of these scams involve saying, hey, if you just give us this down payment, or you go and get gift cards or pay with prepaid or gift cards, those are one-time use. The minute that they get a hold of those kinds of payments, there is not much of a means to get that money back. So those are the kinds of things that they're often looking for. They may tell you it's to help someone else, or a charitable organization that they're standing up to help someone, or that someone is in trouble. So those are the kinds of things, but it's really, again, making sure you guard your personal information, that the source that's calling you to, or that's emailing you. Don't just click without thinking. There are ways to know if a company is legitimate, like going to the internet and searching for the actual company, like your credit card company, if they say that they're a credit card company, rather than clicking on whatever that link is. go to those bank websites and verify that you're actually getting this contact from a legitimate source. Odds are, though, again, if they're asking you for this kind of personal information, it's not a legitimate source.
Are some of our most popular demographic, maybe the elderly? How can a younger person help their grandparent through this issue, through these scams? I feel like a lot of grandparents may not be tech savvy. They're not sure where to go for this help and these resources. How can we help our older population?
That is an excellent point. And again, it's already a community, the elderly, who are isolated often, due to illnesses or otherwise. And the pandemic has really exacerbated that and made it worse. So really, as those who care about our loved ones, making sure that they just don't take those calls. If they get somebody who's talking to them, they can say, oh, let me take your phone number down. Let me take your contact information down. I'll have my family member call you, just to say, remind them, never provide that kind of information on the phone. Absolutely, these scammers are seeking to build a relationship and prey on those who are feeling that loneliness and isolation. And so a reminder is critically important to all of those who may be experiencing these kinds of scams.
Are scams also sent through the mail, maybe in a letter or something like that? What are other mediums of scams being
Oh, absolutely. As I said, opportunistic ways to take advantage of people any way you can. You will get them through the mail. You could get them by phone or text or email. Again, advertisements, something you might click on. It's like, oh, donate to this cause, or, those are all things that could be seeking to pull you to a place where they're going to start asking you for information that really you shouldn't be providing. So those are all things to be wary of and be careful of. I mean, look, again, in the busy speed of things, I've had that situation. It looks legitimate. You think it's from Apple or you think it's from Amazon, and oh, my order's not going to come on time. And all of a sudden you start digging in and they start asking you for information. And it's not the company they purport to be. It's not the purpose that they're claiming it is. We really just need to be very careful and report it. I can tell you it's incredibly hard to take enforcement action against these entities. A lot of them are overseas, operating overseas from safe haven countries. So they're looking to get that money out of the country and looking to evade U.S. government prosecution. But we do have ways you can report that to us. Here at the CFPB, we've got a complaint system to report it to. The Federal Trade Commission also has their fraud alert system that you can send information to there as well. So making sure that you tell us what that is, and we'll continue to work together to try to clamp down on that. But it really is an important first line of defense to save you from the heartache and trouble of even engaging with these scammers.
Perfect. I saw a great clip virtually through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's Twitter. Director, I would like you to share maybe 3 comprehensive tips for our viewers right now. Just to backtrack and remember, what are the 3 steps to keep them safe during these scams?
Happy to do that. Again, we have so much at cfpb.gov/coronavirus in general at our website to educate folks. So I suppose the number one tip is, if you have any questions or are looking for information, come to cfpb.gov. Absolutely, to answer those kinds of questions. We have all kinds of things for you and tips. The second thing is, again, just be wary. Anyone that contacts you out of the blue, there's no reason to be providing any personal information. No reason why they should be asking you for it. So certainly, then that third thing is, again, the second thing, be wary. Third thing is just don't provide it, don't answer it. Always go to the trusted source online, to that company's website directly, to that 800 number on the back of your credit card. Don't provide that information to someone out of the blue.
Thank you so much. Director Kathy Kraninger is the director for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you so much, Sonyi. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Folks, again, you can visit consumerfinance.gov to learn how you can protect yourself financially. If you or someone you know has experienced a scam, you can also report it to the reportfraud.ftc.gov website. We'll be right back.